everyone, and welcome to episode 72 of the E-Ticket Report. My name is Chris Wakefield, and I am joined by my co-host, Tommy Hawkins.
Good evening, gentlemen, ladies.
Jalen Harvey.
What's good, y'all?
And Ryan Barr.
Howdy.
So, I need to know right now, before we get too deep into this episode, is the Nemo musical open, closed forever, permanently being refurbed? What's happening here? Because the goalposts seem to be moving a little bit.
It's just getting downsized from what we've seen, or at least reconfigured.
The word they're using is reimagined.
Oh, well, reimagine can mean anything from we firing some people or we making it a little bit better.
Does anyone here not like that musical? Because I love it.
Fuck it. I don't want to be that rude. Go ahead, Tommy.
I believe I
all right.
only saw it once.
Same. That's all I needed.
Yeah. You know,
Me as a grown adult, I've seen it once. I probably don't need to see it again. Whereas, like Lion King, I'd happily go back to that again. I thought that was awesome.
Yes.
But Nemo was like I'd take my nieces or my nephews or something like that. But for me, personally, I've seen it now. But you know, I would go to the reimagined one just to see if they're doing anything cool and different. And you know, like theatre technology, seems to it's like smartphones. Like every 10 years they're able to do something cool and interesting. So
here's the
it could be good, but it could be that they've just decided to hack the budget to death. And you know,
the telling thing about this story is the reactions. Like, more people are focused on the fact that the drama with WWNT announcing it's permanently closed, and then Disney being like, no, actually, it's only closed until we figure out what to do with it. So basically, like, nobody's sad about the fact that that thing is gone forever. At least that iteration of the show, nobody is going to miss it, I guess, because nobody's talking about, or nobody's really sad that it's gone. You know?
Well, there are people who were definitely sad about it, but it was more so. Yeah, that. Sorry, that motherfucker. Yeah, no, it's.
Oh my god!
Everyone take a shot. If you're listening, everyone take a shot.
Is that not Mice Chat certified? I don't. Is that?
I'm just marking the time here. I'm just Tommy and I spent how much time last week or last episode trying to edit that out.
To be fair, right, Jay, he was bleeping you out all of the time. He didn't bleep me or Ryan or himself, just you.
Well, I feel like one should have been over the other, but okay. I feel like one is the right vessel it's supposed to come out of. But yeah, I guess.
And we weren't dropping that word, that's for sure. The F-bomb, maybe, but not that.
Well, and for Tommy's point, his people did create the word, so you know, I feel like he's grandfathered in. I feel like he's grandfathered in a little bit. But yeah, I think
so far off track. Nemo.
Yeah, I think people definitely did like the show. I think for me, when you have Lion King on the other end, and that is just such a spectacular show, and then you have Nemo, I will say, and it's better than whatever the hell they got going on at MGM with that stupid, dingy Beauty and the Beast show and that musty. Oh, I hate Little Mermaid. I hate Little Mermaid.
Are they still doing
It's like walking back in time.
Are they still doing the Frozen sing-along show? Because that was actually okay. I enjoyed watching it.
Yeah, they brought that back fairly quickly, didn't they?
Yeah, they did.
That's a huge money maker.
No, it's still going. It hasn't been upgraded with any of the Frozen 2 songs, which people have been clamoring for. But I don't care. It's not. I'm a 25-year-old 6'1" black man. I don't think I'm the target demographic for Frozen.
I think the other thing with Nemo, though, is that we already have so much Nemo content in the parks. Feels like every park has its own Nemo thing.
Does it?
Not exactly, but it feels like it. I just think nobody is missing any Nemo stuff that goes away because of that. I think we have Nemo overkill going on.
But I mean, let's be fair to those people that enjoy theatre, enjoy musical theatre. It's like well regarded as one of the top shows. It's very, very good. It's very Disney. Like let's give it its dues.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just a little bit tired, a little bit it's like shows in the West End or Broadway. Like sooner or later they do their run and they come to an end, don't they? It doesn't mean they're bad shows. It just means that's their run. So maybe it is time for
I think the issue is that Disney is so selective with which shows, quote unquote, come to an end. Like Jalen said, Mermaid has been at Hollywood Studios for how long now? For more than 20 years, I think. So,
yeah.
98.
Yeah. So they're really selective when something has come to an end, and it's never the one that you want to come to an end.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess there's probably going to be some bean counter who looks at a 1 digit drop in guest attendance or guest satisfaction versus the production cost and how much they're paying union people to do it, and goes, look, if we carry on this downward trend, it's gonna, we're gonna lose.
If this continues, we'll only make $87 billion in profit, not $88 billion.
Exactly. Exactly. That's what I'm getting at. That it's just it's a stupid metric, but clearly they have some sort of metric where it might have just dropped a little bit below whatever it is. And for us as guests, we enjoy it just as much as we enjoy any of the others. But
I've seen an interesting take where Tarzan Rocks people think was a better show, but obviously lasted much. It was shorter. It was way shorter than Nemo's run. So it is.
I don't know.
But Disney fans do that with everything that ages. Like in 20 years, Nemo will have been the best stage show they ever put on. And oh my gosh, I miss it so much. It changed my life. And yada, yada, yada.
I mean, you might be right, though. You might be right. Whatever is coming into this theater probably won't be to the same, I don't know, performance. I don't know. Like, obviously, we won't have as many actors, and the actors are what made that show.
Yeah, it was like a 30-minute Broadway. Like, it was as much as I don't like the contents of the show, it was great. It was well done. It was better than again the Beauty and the Beast show and the Little Mermaid show, and those are actual musicals,
right?
And maybe because Nemo had something to prove. Nemo had something to prove. It was never a musical before. Hell, it did better than the Toy Story musical that it did over at DCA for like a year and a half.
Oh, that was a mess.
So I caused a bit of, I wouldn't say drama, but it definitely got more traction than what it was. What it should have done is I did a flippant thing of posting about basically using that whole area, like the Nemo Theatre and the old Primeval World ground, and redoing, adding Crush's Coaster, and it was a real like tongue-in-cheek thing from something way back, and that got like loads of traction. Talking about that, and then obviously that led on to people talking about Zootopia going into that area. So be interesting to get your thoughts on the whole Zootopia and Animal Kingdom debate. Where are you at, you lot?
So it was a pretty heated discussion, I'd say. I personally don't like Dinoland without Chester and Hester's. This is my opinion, and it's probably going to be an unpopular one. But I think if you're getting rid of Chester and Hester's, might as well just get rid of Dinoland altogether. Because I don't like
Watch
Dinoland.
Your fucking mouth.
I don't like Dinoland as a mini land with just the restaurant and dinosaur and the boneyard. That doesn't do it for me. So without Chester and Hester's, scrap Dinoland altogether. Just build Zootopia over all of Dinoland. And we'll get
I hate Dinoland. I absolutely hate Dinoland.
I like Dinosaur. I'll be sad to see it go, but we still got Indiana Jones over in the West Coast, which is better anyway.
What? Like, okay, don't get me wrong. I can get wanting to have like an all or nothing, completely get rid of it. But if your bar is saying, oh, if they get rid of Chester's and Hester's, it's no longer good to me.
Yes.
The best thing about that part, is Dinosaur and the Boneyard, and that's pretty much it. And that's what it should have probably stayed. You want your state fair? Come down to Tampa in over around February. I'll take you to a state fair. If you want to have your state fair, we can. And they don't even have good state fair food. If it had the food, I could forgive everything about it. But
I think the land is incomplete. No, I don't want it without Chester and Hester's. I think Chester and Hester's is more, I don't know, charming than the rest of the land. And it just feels
Wakefield, you were right.
It feels like
you were right.
It feels seamless.
Tag him in.
Disney fans would cling on to any damn shitty thing. They would strap themselves like a tree hugger to the Amazon rainforest.
Without Chester and Hester's, Dinoland feels like an unthemed dinosaur. It feels like Dinosaur World, to be honest, down in Lakeland. That's what Dinoland USA
we're gonna have to fight. We're gonna have to fight, son, because that's just disrespectful.
All right, we got
5 minutes outside.
We got to move on, and don't
even talk about.
Don't worry, because according to a certain website, that's all going to be Indiana Jones in 5 years anyway. So let's move on. We're a week or so, almost 2 weeks into Universal Orlando's Halloween Horror Nights. What have we learned from these first 2 weeks? Besides every year this happens, and I see it on Twitter, and it's this virtue signaling straw man, like what we call in wrestling cheap heat tweets of, guys, don't touch scare actors, and they each get 1,000 likes. It's like, well, no, duh. Like, guys, don't shoot people, don't commit murder. Like, yeah, you're just virtue signaling. Shut up. Contribute to the conversation. Anyways, what have we learned from this? What's the best house so far?
Damn.
That's a good question.
Who has done it?
Listen, though, it's interesting because, every year Universal pours in a ton of money for one big Netflix house, whether it be Stranger Things or before it wasn't Netflix, it was American Horror Story.
Dead, I believe.
It was Walking Dead for 10 years in a row.
It was American Horror Story for a good stretch too. Don't forget that. But it's never the favorite house of the fans. This year it seems to be that Wicked Growth has the most number one picks. A lot of people are saying Wicked Growth is the favorite one, and that is an original house, obviously, in one of the tents, and it's actually in the same tent that the Scarecrow house was in, which was also a favorite. That house has a good track record.
Y'all haven't been besides me, have you?
Not yet.
I was almost going to go.
Yeah, but you chose a baseball game. But no, it's no shade, no shame. I'm not you. I'm not going to shame you for how you spend your money. But I like it. It's good so far. It's sold out, but I think they sold out the first night the same way that Boo Bash sold out, like the first week. Like it definitely seemed like they wanted to have less people, because when I went back the following week, that Saturday, Friday, it was way more packed. Way more packed.
The most recent weekend was more busy than the opening weekend, which was sold out. Or I mean, at least because Friday.
The opening weekend was very hospitable, very easy to do, easy to get things done. It was livable.
That's interesting.
The Friday and Saturday, it was not. There were some houses that would just fluctuate and drop from anywhere from 70 all the way down to 15 minutes, and it was almost like a round robin where you could just go to a section of the park, hit all of those, and then once you leave, those get a huge spike.
Yeah.
And then where you came from, you can go over there and do those. It was like that. But this past weekend, no, I went with Spencer Coleman. It was hell. We couldn't even do a house. I think the lowest wait time I saw was 35 minutes.
Wow. And this is one thing I want to talk about too. And Ryan, as someone who's worked Halloween Horror Nights, and this happened to me the last time I went, and it kind of really turned me off. A lot of people were complaining opening weekend about operations, the ops staff, pushing people through the houses way too fast, yelling at them, cajoling you for stopping or admiring the scenery even, and just go. You're practically running through the houses because ops is pushing you to increase the throughput, to bring wait times down.
This is a double-edged sword right here. It's tough. You got to get the wait times down, of course. On busy nights, no BS. Like we don't want to build a queue that has to go out past the streets of New York, you know? So I think their methods of how they get that wait time down need to be addressed internally, definitely. Like, you can't be shining a friggin' like light thing in people's face, distracting them from what's happening and yelling at them. That just breaks the entire experience altogether. But on the flip, you also have a bunch of guests, and especially you're going to see this opening week, and whenever the fans are going. Basically, some fans just want to make sure that they see every friggin' actor in the whole house. So in order to do that, they have to stop at the entrance of a room, wait for it to reset, and then they walk. I've walked behind people who stop in every damn room, and it is the worst. It ruins the experience more than somebody telling me to go faster, because that I can ignore easier than somebody in front of me stopping. So I think some of these people just need to realize that not every run through of a house is going to be perfect, and you should just walk at a pace that's, normal. Like, stop, don't slow down, don't go too fast.
I think from what I saw, and I've been seeing very, very little of all of this, that there was at least one person I'm pretty sure might have had a disability, and then they were basically saying, look, this is the speed that I can walk. I can't go any faster.
Damn.
So the question I had for you is the turnover of staff a yearly thing, or do the same people go back to work it? Is this a case of you've got people that maybe haven't worked the event before and they're not quite learning when they need to say rush, 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 and when they need to go, okay, that's not someone that's taking the piss, and actually let's give them a bit more time?
I'd say it's about 50-50. You have 50% who probably work in attractions while they're not working these houses, so they're working on a ride, probably doing the same thing every day, yelling at people, getting mad when people don't listen to them. But the other 50 is new people. All new, and we haven't had this event since 2019, so everybody's fresh. So I think the first weekend you can't really judge. That's why I don't like going even in the month of September to Horror Nights, because everything, especially this year, is so fresh to people because it hasn't been a thing since 2019. So the new people might not even know what it's like to experience the event. And some, don't even remember what they used to do when it was going on. So,
can I say this as someone who is not immersed in the Halloween Horror Nights scene and the culture and HHN Twitter, and this might be really cynical of me, but it seems like a lot of people, not most, but many people, a handful, just go to Halloween Horror Nights, and this isn't a bad thing. But they just go to be seen. Like, it's like a influencer mega event. It's like Coachella for Orlando almost. Does that seem on par with anyone else is experiencing?
Have you not been to a...
Listen.
Well, they do definitely dress like Hot Topic threw up on them. Like, it just seems like everybody went to Hot Topic that like the weekend before and just got the same fishnets, and it looks like the Scene Kid era from 2008 in that bitch.
And these are good people. No. These are like nice people and they're friendly. It's like, but they go just to be seen. Like I go to Halloween Horror Nights to be scared to the houses and take my butt home. I'm not there to. This came because someone commented on Twitter they were with someone at Halloween Horror Nights, and this person was upset because no one noticed them, quote unquote, from Twitter.
I'm going to say something. This is all I'll say. I'll leave it at this, and this is going to get me canceled on Twitter, but I need to say it. Theater kids are ruining Horror Nights for the fans of classic Horror Nights.
I don't want to side with Ryan on this, but I'll fight him. I feel like I can fight 10 theater kids in quick succession. So I might
that is the best visual. That is the best video ever.
11 theatre kids are going to turn up at your house now. You said
No, but they'll surround you at Horror Nights.
Man, what are they going to do? Dance aggressively to me?
They'll just tweet.
I agree. I agree with Ryan to a certain extent that there's definitely people who are there who are very flamboyant, who just want attention. But as somebody who lives in Orlando and goes to theme parks, that's every fucking where here. Especially that's humans in general.
I was going to say, is it like a highly concentrated version of APs, because those type of people that you're describing that are going there for status and appearance and stuff like that, they're the ones that can literally go to every HHN the whole season, whereas people that are literally rocking up, coming into town just for a few days, especially to go to this one event, that's not the same people, is it? It's like that kind of AP mentality.
I can see, so I was at Cabana Bay. I stayed at Universal for the first time, and it was all for Halloween Horror Nights, and it was for the Jacked Up experience and the Icon Bar. Luckily, Cabana Bay was actually a good time because the rest of that shit was trash. But I saw people people from all over the community, and they were all staying there for the exact same reason why I was staying there. And it kind of just felt like people, you pulled up to stunt. Like, have you ever been to a black family reunion? Like, you're going to wear your best stuff. You're going to want to stunt.
No, Jalen, I haven't been to a black family reunion.
Well, yeah, have you ever watched a Madea movie? Like,
listen, though, the catalyst of all of this was a scare zone that I was in 2015. And this is exactly what you're describing. Okay, people would turn up to this scare zone, which was at HHN 2016. People would turn up to the scare zone just to hang out. And I'm out there working my ass off trying to get scares. And this is my first year scaring. And I would see the same people every night, like as if they're
trying to scare me. They're like, "Excuse me, don't scare me. I'm trying to get content here.
Yeah,
excuse me."
Exactly, bro. Like the same people I see every night, like they're part of the cast. And it just became more of a trend every year. It's I don't have that big of a problem with it. Okay, as long as I'm not worried. That's why I stopped.
If you scare them. If you scare them and they're like, I'm trying to get content, I'm like, well, motherfucker, why are you here? Like, you know what this is. So, like, I could see your point, Ryan. I can see both of your point.
But also, it's become more prevalent as the years have gone on. I stopped doing it in 2018, but every year there just seems to be more and more people who are there to hang out.
Not for the houses.
Which is fine, because I'd rather have them there than the people who are blackout drunk who have no idea what's going on.
Oh, we heard some of those stories too.
Hey, you could just say my name, Ryan. You don't got to be pussyfooting around here. You could just call me out.
No, Chris, back to what you said originally. The tweets about don't touch the scare actors. No, duh. You know who's not going to see that or care are the idiots, the thousands of fools who show up blackout drunk, who are there just to drink and have a good time, not realizing the damage they're doing. I've literally fought people as an actor who, like, it's insane. It's a I don't know. I'll just leave it there.
Theater kids. How many could you get in quick succession?
Now that I'm getting, can only do 3.
Now that I'm getting into it, theater kids aren't that bad.
It's theater kids and their drunk uncles who join them.
Oh, no. You know what's worse? So here's the one thing I do have a major problem with, which is ironic because I did start going at this age. But I'm not talking about babies. It's a whole nother issue. But, like, the high schoolers who go, like, y'all gotta, like, the high schoolers who go, it's not legal to beat a high schooler's ass. It's not. But they really be irking some people's last nerves. They act like it's their first time going. And for some of them, it probably is their first time going. So a part of me can forgive that, but there's just some point where it's just like, can you not? I know your parents aren't here, and I know you're horny as hell, and I know this is supposed to be like this edgy thing and this rite of passage or whatnot, but like, can y'all just calm down? It's not that serious. It really isn't. Like, calm down. Like, it's a mess with those guys. Like, the kids who go, they're a little much. They're a little too damn much.
Yeah. I mean, I saw it firsthand. Being in one of those little crevices and then having to repeatedly do an aggressive motion over and over, you're not really thinking about who's going to be in front of you until there's somebody who makes
life right now.
Yeah, there's somebody who makes themselves the main character.
Whoa, speaking of Chris's sex life here, stop bringing babies to Halloween Horror Nights, son.
Oh my good. Wait, whoa, what? So this seems to be really dividing the community. My daughter's 2.5, and there's no way I would dream of bringing her to Halloween Horror Nights. But some people are legit like, hey, I can't find a babysitter, and the kids don't mind it, even though they're crying, and I'm bringing my kids to Halloween Horror Nights.
Stay your ass home. Nobody has to pay for your mistake of not being able to play Jenga well. Okay? Stay home.
The thing is, I can think of a million things that parents do on a daily basis that are probably worse than bringing their kids to horror nights. And bringing your kid to horror nights doesn't necessarily make you a bad parent.
You mean like peeing in a cup?
Wow.
Good Lord.
And yeah, I've seen terrible parents at these parks, but the ones who I've seen terrible parents. Working in Universal, I've seen the worst parents in existence, okay, that treat their kids like garbage. But the ones who bring their kids to horror nights are usually, I'm not saying all the time, are usually thinking of the kid most of the time. There are some that bring their kids and like not even talk to them while they're there. But for the most part, it's not as bad as most of the white trash parents who bring their kids and get drunk at 10 a.m. and are drunk the whole day and, let their kids do whatever they want.
I've definitely seen that. I mean, it's not so much I don't mind like kids. Like if Wakefield wanted to bring his 2-year-old daughter who, I'm guessing is potty trained and she can walk and everything like that, fine. If like 5-year-olds, I get it. But don't be bringing like these babies fresh from the baby port to this event.
From the what?
From the baby port. They just came out into the world, son. They just got out. They just got out of 9-month lockup, son. Like they're 1-2 month old, and they're going to scream loudly when you bring them into a house. Or when you even bring them around this. Like, stop bringing these babies. It's okay if you want to bring your toddler.
I don't think...
I get that.
I don't think...
There's some kids who like toddlers.
I don't think like a 1-month-old is getting that much damage from this, as opposed to like a 1-year-old,
The noise alone for a kid...
it's going to shake them up.
Yeah, put headphones on. I see a lot of kids with headphones walking around, earplugs.
See, ladies, if you're listening, do not reproduce with Ryan, and don't let him take you.
We're bringing our 3-year-old son to horror nights, and he's gonna like it. Okay, he's gonna go home with a Jack the Clown doll, and he's gonna.
There's some kids who like horror. That's a real thing. Yeah, I'm just saying.
My kid loves Jurassic Park. My kid loves Jurassic Park. She loves all the violence of the dinosaurs eating each other and eating people on Jurassic World. She loves that stuff, and she loves meeting Blue. But there's no way I would ramp it up to something to the level of Halloween Horror Nights.
Yeah, there's some kids who like that.
Yeah, Chris, you can go to Horror Nights with Eric, and I'll just take her to River Adventure and P flies the whole night. It's fine. That suits me. That suits her.
Universal should open up a little daycare right on the outside of City Walk for all the parents who want to go to Halloween Horror Nights, but they can't have a sitter. You open up Seuss Landing, and you have some team members around who have no child care courses.
They put one of them fences, like you got the playpens at both entrances, and you just chuck them in.
Just put a gate around.
They just need to put a safety gate on if I ran the zoo, and then that's it.
Yeah. Exactly. Oh my God, you're basically describing like Jurassic Park, but for babies. Like just keep them all in one. You can watch them graze. You can maybe like get like 25 cents, put in a little gumball machine, and you get like I don't know those little soft Cheeto-y things, and you can feed them to you, feed them out there, and like
but just like Jurassic Park, life finds a way.
The babies start eating each other. They start eating each other.
What are we talking about?
So let's go on. Let's stay at Universal real quick. So, a small tidbit: Comcast had their quarterly updates today, and the CFO essentially said Epic Universe is going to take 3 to 4 years. Some people were maybe erroneously thinking it would take 2 years, but I think 3 to 4 years to put a theme park on what is now still a patch of dirt is not too bad.
That's extremely fast pace if it's 3 to 4 years.
Yeah.
Well, what he's basically saying is that so the CFO, he was talking to some conference or something, so he was talking more so about the money and the capex and all that stuff, and he was basically saying that we're starting at the end of this year, but we're not going to spend much. But from what's effectively the next financial year and the next 3 to 4 financial years, we're going to spend all of the money then, sort of thing. But like, it will be, you can guarantee that come January it's going to be like full steam ahead, and then they just won't let up until it's done. 100%.
Well, let's hope they pick some better lands between now and then.
Well, let's talk about this. They had tons of time with the pandemic where they weren't doing shit. Do you think they changed any of the plans? Could they change plans? Were they too far in the process with the ground? Could they change anything there, do you think?
No, nothing is concrete until it's concrete, so to speak. They had already ordered some parts. Obviously, we're seeing Super Nintendo stuff already being like put in storage and stacked up in spots. So they had already ordered some parts, and you got to put your orders in with manufacturers, obviously. But a lot of those things can be reskinned or rethemed. So I think it's pretty.
It'll be interesting to see what develops first, which areas of the park, because that will show us what is set in stone.
It'll be Nintendo. It'll be Nintendo because the stuff is literally sitting in a warehouse. It's sitting in a warehouse ready to go.
Yeah, they've done Nintendo. It'll be easy. And people, that's what they want to do. They just built Nintendo. They might as well do it first. Well, they're building it already right now. They're building it right now too. So.
Yeah. All right. So let's move on to our next topic here. We're rolling through these. Space 220, the menu came out, and it's funny because I heard in a podcast someone said they were concerned about going to Space 220 because they're afraid of heights. And I wanted to reach to my phone and say, you're never leaving the ground. Anyways, we have the menu out with some interesting things on it. It's your typical Disney prices, $60 for a $20 steak type of thing. But this is a prefix menu. The dinners are how much? Is it $75?
$80.
It's 89, I believe.
It's
BI prices.
$79, $1 short of 80, and then the kids' price is what is it? I can't see it on there. The kids' price was about $59 or something like that. Yeah. It wasn't much cheaper.
And the lunch prices are a bit lower. And of course,
55. It's
overly inflated prices for alcohol, and there's some add-ons. $8 for a Bud Light. Come on, just like.
Well, that's standard, right? I think over at Universal and at the carts, it's like $8, right?
That's tough. That's just. If it's a one-off, but when you're having a already dinner, it's going to cost you $220 just to sit down. Then of course there's add-ons. It's a standard American fare menu. It's not too exotic. It's not. Nothing about it is spacey. There's no Dippin' Dots. There's no freeze-dried food type of thing. So.
Well, the thing is though, if you go to a City Walk restaurant and pay $80, sorry, like you're going to get pretty decent food, right? If you go to a Disney restaurant that's got this big elaborate theme, you're not going to get $80 food, are you? You're going to get probably $20 food at the most.
Exactly. Yeah, that's the Disney model. That's why. They give you a $20 steak and charge you $60 for it.
It's on brand, like they did. Yep. I feel like once I saw the elevator and the gimmick of it, I'm like, this is just going to be like Be Our Guest. This is exactly like Be Our Guest minus an IP tied.
So, are you saying the Be Our Guest food is pretty crap then, or what? Because
the lunch is terrible.
If this is like Be Our Guest in any way, let me tell you something. If this is like Be Our Guest in any way, they're going to have a hard time keeping it open and not changing anything drastically, because this is not enough to succeed. I can't see a scenario in which this restaurant is successful. unless, I don't know, like it's in a tucked away corner. It's pretty much hidden. It's in a park which already has tons of competition with other restaurants. It has another restaurant run by the same group in Italy called Via Napoli. I don't know. There's too much direct competition.
Got a few restaurants they run.
There's too much direct competition. I don't think this gimmick enough with the stupid elevator is enough to with the pricing and everything to get people to want to go here.
Well, that's not the gimmick, though, is it? The gimmick isn't the elevator. The gimmick is the gigantic 180-foot wraparound HCTV.
It's Coral Reef. Like, it's Coral Reef on the east side of Future World. Like, that's exactly what they were going for.
What's Coral Reef?
Coral Reef
exactly. No, that's my point. Tommy, you just said, what's Coral Reef? It's a huge restaurant in the living seas, which has a huge window to an aquarium.
That thing is always packed. That thing is always packed, though.
Yeah, but this isn't
nobody ever talks about
this isn't being pitched as an aquarium, is it? This is supposed to be cutting edge, like, projection.
This is supposed to be, it's supposed to be like a space thing.
I'm not saying that to, like, defend them. I'm just saying this is supposed to be something that no one has ever done before with a giant wraparound, basically IMAX style screen. So it should be like that alone should be exceptional. I'm not saying it will be, but
that's the gimmick.
Really, for me, it should be like a kind of a mini version of going on Flight of Passage in terms of the immersion and the screen. Like, it should be that good quality graphics and stuff like that.
Right.
I can't see it being that. I can see it being
with this price. I can't see this experience being enough for people to talk positively about it and spread the word. Like, they really have to go in on the experience to make this worth it. Like, you have to feel like you're in space 100%.
Aren't you the same guy who wanted to go to Boo Bash?
Yeah, because there's nobody there. There's literally
weren't you
zero
the same
wait
dude
for
who
anything.
wanted to go spend $150 to get shafted by a mouse for the umpteenth time?
Because there's no crowd.
Whoa! Are you telling Ryan how to use his money? Wait a secon now, Jalen.
I'm just saying.
I sense a double standard. I sense a double standard.
No, hold on here.
It's not that easy, is it?
No, I'm just saying that he can't sit here and be like, "Oh, I'm going to pay $150 for this bootleg cheap ass event," and then get on.
I'm not saying that, Jalen. I'm saying I'm only going
that's
to.
That's not going to be worth it. That people aren't going to go to this. People are going to probably go to this because Disney will feed you shit, and people will buy it. They fed you shit and you bought it, so it's not out of the realm of possibility.
They don't feed me anything.
They'll feed you a really expensive hotel, and you'll pay the money to go to it. To go sit in a room with no windows
and I'm not spending a single dime at Magic Kingdom the rest of the calendar year.
Hey, man. Hey, some people might just do this once. I only did Be Our Guest once. That was my one time doing it. I'm probably only going to do this once.
So legit, I was thinking about before I saw the prices. I thought, oh, that's something I would probably do if I was in Epcot. I'd drop $150 on lunch or something like that. But now seeing the prices, it's just outside of my range of wanting to do it. But I was
even the lunch at 55. Well, you got a kid, so yeah. I mean, if it was just you
exactly.
and
I guess the thing is, if it was a standard menu where, like, for example, Big Fire Grill, there's expensive steaks and stuff like that on the menu, but there's also like affordable items on there.
Yes.
So you can go in there and you can either spend a lot or you can spend a moderate amount and have a good experience, right? If the menu was kind of like that, if there was like a grilled chicken or some cheap starters or something like that, then you might go, you know what, I'll go try it out. But knowing that you're paying $80, and for me, I don't even do dessert, so that's like a third of the meal that I wouldn't even be paying for. So what's the point? Like I'll just go to the IMAX. I'll tell you what, I'll just go to Kennedy Space Center and watch one of the space films on their IMAX screen, because that was incredible. And then I saved myself $80 on a crappy meal that's Disney food anyway. So, yeah, sorted. Okay, I know where I'm going. You can go.
But don't you have to pay to get over there?
Listen, Food and Wine, the food at Food and Wine is better than the food you'll have at Space 220. Save your money. Eat good.
I don't know about that.
You can probably, in 30 years, you'll probably be able to afford, with the money you save from not eating at Space 220, you'll probably be able to afford a flight to space and see it with your own eyes.
This is going to be the December show, and we're going to know that it's ass to ankles in that thing, and nobody can get a reservation, and it's completely packed because it happens every time.
Because the influencers are going to go and hype it up, and the travel agents are going to hype it up, and people are going, oh my God, this is a life-changing experience. I can't believe how amazing this was. Everyone's going to hype it up.
It's going to do numbers.
I think we should reflect on the past 2 weeks at Disney, which have been historically low crowds in both.
Because everybody went home. Summer's over, son. They're gone. Like, what do you want?
No. Crowds did not dip like this before the pandemic.
Exactly.
Crowds did not dip like this in the shoulder seasons.
All-time low.
My only hypothesis for that is, well, people might have just ran out of that extra money that they were blowing.
No, I think you've got to remember, they said we've got pent-up demand, right? And they were banking on the pent-up demand. They probably thought, oh, well, we've got about, 14 to 18 months worth of pent-up demand domestic, and then they were relying on us international guests to come back. No, we're not back.
Yeah.
Hey, Aria.
Yeah. Right. Well, and the constant drumbeat of Disney nickel and diming people over the last year is what's led to this drop in attendance domestically. That's what it is. The price increases, period, dot, dash. What, baby? Yeah, that's a cat, yes. Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, also, don't forget, like, DeSantis is doing his best to try and kill as many of his voters as he can. So,
and that's a big part of it, too, yeah. Sorry, I didn't mean to omit that part, yes. Yeah, yes, Aria.
You're like Steph Curry over here at the press conference, son. You got the baby on your lap and everything, and
she's brought up an entire bowl of applesauce, and she's feeding it to the microphone right now.
Oh my God! Do I fake like num 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 num? What do I do here?
All right, let's get to our next topic real quick. Annual pass prices are out, and much more so than the price increase, which we were expecting. We also saw a different structure where certain people can buy certain passes. So, Jalen, if I live outside of Florida, which pass can I buy? Can I buy any pass or just the one uber expensive pass?
Well, Professor Wakefield, you can only get the highest pass, which is a car note and a half. Like it's $1,300 if you want that pass, which is like $100 a month or something more than that.
Or is that
even for kids?
Can we do it in days at the the Galactic Hotel? Is it like one? Is it equivalent to 1 day at the Galactic Hotel?
1/5? Yeah, no. 1/2 of 1 day, because it's only one. It's 5,000. Well, actually, no. You might be right there. For one person, that would be half. Yes.
Are you going to renew your annual pass as a Florida local? Because you have different options, right?
I'm dropping to like I know exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to drop to the 800, the 900, 800 one. Whatever. Can we just talk about how stupid the tier names for this is? Like,
we talked about this last time with the name of the keys and how goofy those names were. It's the same thing here.
Like it's just, it makes no sense. I don't get it, but I'm probably going to get the 800, 900 one. That's what I'm used to paying. And I'm going to take the extra money and invest in getting the better Universal Pass, because Universal's just killing it with the AP, like with all the stuff that you can get as an AP with Universal. The fact I can get valet parking and Express After 4 and a free Halloween Horror Nights ticket, even though I'm probably going to get a freaking Fear Pass, but still the options there. Like there's better AP programs in Florida than Disney's, and Universal is right next door. It'd be one thing if it was a drop in quality, like SeaWorld, depending on what you're really looking for. Like SeaWorld gives you everything. For $36 a month, I can go to any SeaWorld park in the country. And I have 6 tickets I can give to my friends. I get discounts on booze, son. Discount, free beer when I walk in, 50% off on merch that I probably wouldn't want anyway, but hey, it's 50% off. Like,
and you're literally helping feed animals because SeaWorld can't afford anything.
Hey, let's not.
By the way, if we're talking about rides that aren't opening, aka Tron, we should also talk about Icebreaker for a quick sec. Icebreaker, when did that start? Because it's pretty much the easiest coaster you can assemble, and in today's world, and it's still not open.
It's ready. It's been ready for a while. It's just like Gwazi. Yeah. They've been sleeping on these rides.
They're waiting for the 50th anniversary of Disney World, you guys. Come on.
Yeah, that'd be a terrible time. If they opened it next month, that'd be terrible.
Well, they're not really, because they're waiting until like February, March, spring next year. So I think even though they've like played it down before, because they've claimed that only 10% of their guests are international, but clearly all of those guests are the ones in Florida.
Shit.
Well, that's what they say. They say that on an earnings call. Yeah, they can't actually like. But I think most of them are going to those two parks. So they were waiting for us to come back, and then we haven't come back. So now that they're like, well, let's save a bit of money. But
as somebody who has worked for Busch Gardens, who has family members who's worked for Busch Gardens, who've been going to Busch Gardens, they will wait. They will cheap out, and they will definitely wait. Like they were using pieces of Gwazi as mulch. So
back to the Disney World APs.
So getting to the APs, they've taken away some of the perks in almost every tier, right? Parking is now charged for. The discounts are a bit lower. There's a lot of things. Memory Maker is just gone.
Parking is still free. Parking's still free for every pass. Which would be an abomination if it wasn't, because where are you going to park if you can't park, if you have to pay to park? That'd be ridiculous. So the parking is
transfers.
They took away free photo pass for the, I guess, gold, the top two tiers. Now everyone has to pay $100 out of pocket if you want that.
And then did you see there was obviously charging more for, was it $100 for the water park and sports option?
That's what it was. Sorry, that's what it was. Yeah, is the increase of those for one water park that's closed and may never open again.
And then did you see this other thing that as people were starting to pay for them and book them, that this bonus reservations thing, that's like the booty prize.
This is goofy.
Yes, everyone qualifies for bonus reservation.
Oh my god!
Come on a day that no one's here because we need people in the park.
How goofy is that?
If I'm a Florida local, if I'm a Florida local right now, I'm telling you, I'm buying the lowest tier Pixie Dust Pass because one, I don't want to go on the days that are blocked out because it'll probably be busy anyway. The busiest days are weekends. I don't want to go on weekends and holidays. Those are the most miserable days to go. So I'm buying the $19 per month, and even that, I'm very, I'm grinding my teeth over thinking about.
Yeah. All right.
I used to have the gold pass when I was down there, right? So Jalen, you had the platinum top tier.
I had the platinum. I wouldn't say it would be the platinum plus because I think the platinum plus came with water parks.
Yeah,
and the NBA experience and all that. So I never really got that, but I had like the second highest tier of the platinum, at least.
And what sold you on that originally?
Oh well, the no blackout dates. I have friends who come around like during the off season. Plus, when I was like a kid, when I first got it around like 2013, the only time I could really go would be during the holiday season because we'd be up there and my parents could drive. But once I got a car, now I just kind of kept rolling with it because it wasn't that bad. Like, it really wasn't that bad.
It's affordable if you go enough to make it worthwhile. But here's the thing. So the only one that's available to people outside of Florida is the most expensive one. And you can't pay monthly on that, of course. It's $1,300. If you want the photo pass, it's $99 more.
I thought you could pay monthly on that.
No, you can pay monthly if you're a Florida resident. And you have to prove you're a resident. So if you're out of state, how can you justify the price on this this $1,300 pass as opposed to just going like 2-3 times a year and getting like you could go twice with 8-day passes and it'll still be less.
Yeah.
Well, I jokingly said to Tim Grassi, I was like, well, what you got to do is move to UK and then buy the UK 14-day pass, and that's like $500 or something like that,
Jeez.
whatever it is, $800. It's cheaper to do that than to like spend this stupid amount.
Like, there's going to be a very short list of people who are buying this IncrediPass outside of Florida. I can't realize it.
Chris, did you used to have the one where you can go to both parks? How much was that one? What?
The Premier Passport or whatever.
Actually,
the one where
Chris Wake's not here right now.
I think that one is. I think that one was around $1,200 back in the day. At one point, I remember.
Well, actually, I did see that like a year or two back, and that was like $2,000.
Yeah, it was definitely
Disneyland's passes. Disneyland's passes back in the day was like in the like their highest pass was $1,000.
I think back when I was really involved in the podcasting, when Kingdom Cast was starting, I think it was like $1,200 for the 2 coast pass, like gets you into Disneyland and Disney World.
So
which isn't that bad.
While we're on this subject, while we're waiting for Chris to come back from whatever he's doing,
I was pulling my fettuccine Alfredo out of the oven.
Oh.
I forgot I put it in there 2.5 hours ago.
Is that cold? I feel like that's cold. Is that cold?
No, it's a
Is
brick.
Have you,
That's some kind of gay thing.
Have you like dried it out to take to space and rehydrate it? Or something?
That's right, exactly.
Did it take you 220
we were
minutes?
asking Chris, you had the 2 coast pass, right? The Disneyland and Disney World pass.
I did, yes.
Passport.
Big spender,
Yes.
big spender.
How much
was that?
Back when I had it, and this was years ago, I think it was like 1,000, maybe.
Yeah.
It was close to 1,000.
Sheesh.
Right. Yeah.
But we went a lot. We were in Disneyland like 3 times a year almost. So
Yeah.
That's nuts.
So all I was going to do is just
That's worth it.
before we moved on, I was going to raise this rumor, this Disneyland Paris rumor, that this ultra premium pass that could be floated that will be between €1,000 and 3,000 a year, and like some of the benefits for that are like crazy. They're saying that you would basically be able to book every single day of the year, 365 without reservations. That you might get included premier access, that you might get VIP seating for shows, soft opening invitations, events and stuff like that. Do you think that's something that they would even dare to think about doing over here?
if it'll make them money, yeah, I think they'll do more than dare to think about it. They're gonna. I'm telling you guys, they're gonna milk you all dry.
So what would be your? So the question for that is, what would be your price point? What would you think the Disney the Pixie Dusters price point would be for that? What, $5,000? Like what? Where would they sit on that? Do you think?
For an annual pass with those perks?
3,000 sounds about right.
Yeah, I mean, you're really
right.
seeing Disney test the fences with the Galactic Star Cruiser Hotel and that pricing. That was Disney going balls to the wall, like, how much? What if we charged them $5,000? And they looked around the room and they were like, "Do it!" Like, this is not. So they're testing the fences, and they're obviously getting more and more brave with it. So yeah, Jalen said it, 3,000, 3,500, easily. Some of these locals go to Disney World every single week, every weekend.
Listen, there's a guy named...
Yeah, I was going to say, when you've got like the trackers that are going there pretty much every day, and now they haven't got their media access, they need to. Like something like that would be
this is their weekend entertainment. Here in the Midwest, we go to museums, we go to ballparks every weekend. So we do that. And in Florida, y'all go to Disney World. So if you can upgrade that experience, people who have the money will say, yeah, while I'm there, I'm already going to be there. I might as well pay more and get X, Y, and Z.
So if it was 5,000, what would you expect for that then?
I can't even put myself in that headspace. There's no way. You know me. I cannot even begin.
5,000. Listen, this is my demands. If I have 5,000 to blow on this, I'm going whenever I feel like it. I don't have to make a reservation. That's dumb. I go whenever I feel like it. I go if I want to go at 7 o'clock at night when the park closes at 8. I can get in. I get a lightning lane every day, even on the busiest days. At least one free one with no return time either. Just go right in. Yeah, that would do it for me.
Oh, there's one thing listed: the option to do an attraction twice in a row. So what? This is one of these like rumored things.
Really?
Twice in a row.
I mean,
what? So you do it, you get off, you get back on.
I guess so, or you stay on. I don't know. It's a good question.
If Rise is not on the table, then fuck it. Like I feel like that would be the real litmus test is Rise, because that's like the creme de la creme thing that they're really pushing on people. So if that's something that I could redo twice, then I'm like, okay, these motherfuckers are serious. Like,
I want my own lounge too, like a lounge.
Well, actually, yeah. If you see the list of the thing, that's one of the things that's been floated. Your own exclusive lounge.
Yeah, everybody has a lounge, like
backstage tours. Be part of a pre-parade. So I mean,
be part of a pre-parade.
Hey, I better have the best view of fucking whatever the dumb shit, Harmonious that possible. I want to be sitting in the tent with the AV guys.
Yeah, that's where I'd want to sit anyway, but that's just me. But
I don't know. I feel like all the demands that you're giving out, Ryan, they're going to be like, go fuck yourself. We're going to give you half of that. Of
course.
And you're going to like it.
Yeah, but the question is, if there's only a tiny percentage of people that are actually buying this pass, then it's still achievable for them financially. Right. It makes sense.
In a sense,
but don't forget, Disney had this program a few years ago where you could pay, how much was it, like $1,000 for a day, and you could do quote unquote whatever you wanted, and that fell through the ceiling. Like that never ended up really happening.
Oh, because I'm pretty sure some sex stuff was in there. I'm 90%.
Do you remember that program though? Of what I'm talking about, where it was a couple of years ago, and they said, "Oh, you can do whatever you want, and we'll charge you $1,000 a day or $1,600 a day for a group of 6."
Vaguely.
So, all right, we got to move on. I gave you all some homework, and I asked you the question: if you were the CEO at Disney, what would you do? What would you have done to promote the 50th anniversary? If you were the CEO, what 3 things would you do to promote the 50th? Who wants to go first?
Not me. I'll go last.
Ryan didn't do his homework.
Ryan,
all right.
I did. I just want to hear everyone else.
I'll go. Here's I've got 2 really good ones and one I'm not so sure about. And again, I said to promote the 50th. So one of the easier ones, and again, I'm the CEO, so I can do whatever. I'm Bob Chapek. I have shaved my head. I have lost all morals and humanity. One thing I would have done is I would have put an e-ticket in every park and had it ready to open during the first part of the 50th anniversary. Yeah, I'd even let you cheat and have like Rise be the e-ticket for Hollywood Studios. Like that's your e-ticket because it just kind of opened last year. We'll fudge it a little bit. There's your e-ticket. But I would have put an e-ticket, a new e-ticket, in every single park to start. The second thing I would have done is I really am fixated on this character, these character statues, and how they just blew that. I would kind of adapt that though, and I would partner with they used to call them Vinylmations. What do they call with Target? Yeah. With these the Funko Pops. I would have taken 50 characters from Disney World history, actual Disney World history characters. We discussed them before on the show, Buzzy, Timekeeper, yada yada. And I would have had those made into limited edition Funko Pops. And you can get them in the parks, you can get them online. All those different access points where you could get them. Because, of course, if you make it just park exclusive, your eBay pirates are going to come get them, that type of thing. But you could have people collecting these throughout the entire 16-month campaign. You release them and you stagger the releases. So you keep that churn cycle for merchandise going inside the parks and outside the parks. Because the first thing people are going to say is, oh, well, COVID happened, so they couldn't do what they wanted to do. This is COVID proof. Okay? The third thing I would have done is I would have taken 50 stories from the past and the present of people who went to Disney World. That commercial writes itself of the grandma taking her kid on Dumbo. And that's one story. Or, this is where the Nautilus used to be type of thing. I'd take 50 of those stories from all around the world, all different kinds of people, and you bring them back to Disney World. And for 50 weeks, every Friday, you release a new 4 to 5 minute video on your parks blog or YouTube or whatever, and you tell those stories and you show how the generations are connected through this park and how memories are made with all generations in this park. This shit writes itself. And they didn't do it for some reason.
No, that's a great idea. That's
just to promote the parks, not just load the parks with rides. We all want to do that, but actually promote the 50th.
Yeah, pimp it out a bit. No, I like that idea. Hell, they might actually do that if you could still send. It's probably not going to be 50 people. It's probably going to be like 5 of these motherfuckers. But like, it's that just seems like such an easy thing to do.
It's a layup. It's not even that expensive.
I don't think they're going to bring them there. I don't think, unless they're in the country, I don't think they're going to bring them there. They're probably just going to Skype them in or Zoom them in. But no, I like your ideas. All this is, and the Funko Pop thing is great, especially to pair it up with if you did want to have the statues as well, and you could buy a mini version of that and take home.
Who's not going to buy a Buzzy Funko Pop or a John from Carousel of Progress Funko Pop? Come on.
You know how many purists who swear they will never go to a Disney park and who only show up when there's new merch to be bought? They will pull up.
What I would do is I would add Jalen to my executive team, but then I would fire him the second he recommended Smart One be one of the 50 Funko Pops.
Oh, you little motherfucker! You little motherfucker! You're gonna put some
meme. It's the meme where in the office having the meeting and someone gets thrown out the window. That's Jalen when he brings up Smart One for the Funko Pop.
You little man. You're gonna put some respect on Smart One's fucking name, son. You're gonna put some goddamn respect.
Who wants to go next?
I'll go next because we had similar thoughts, but I'll kind of plus that from what you're saying. So I would also say I would have said, 4 or 5 years ago, here's $2 billion. We're going to structure the contracts. We're going to make sure that these rides will get built in time no matter what. We won't do our usual nickel and dime. We'll spread it out quarter to quarter. We'll go, no, we're gonna add to each park new area, not a replacement, an actual new area, an expansion, or a dead space that had something that's no longer. And I would have gone for at least 4 e-tickets. I would have aimed for at least 4 e-tickets, maybe some D tickets and C tickets, and had that as my legacy. First of all, straight off the bat, that would have been my thing that I would have been, okay, this is the legacy. This is when it goes on to my big overarching theme of what I'll talk about in a minute. This is our gift to you as guests. This is what we're giving you. I would have gone into the archives. I'm pretty sure they could have done an Imagineering, what's it called? Imagineering story, but basically done a leading up to the opening of the park, building of the park, and then through the decades. You're telling me they haven't got enough archive footage that they could have done that easily? They could have slapped that on Disney Plus, maybe put something on ABC or whatever. And you know what? The third thing I would have done is I would have booked a bunch of acts, either acts that are associated with Disney, and I'm talking household names, people, like Ariana Grande, someone expensive, and slap them on the stage at the Magic Kingdom and gone, I don't care how much it costs, let's get something for at least every month of the year or the year and a half that we're celebrating. And maybe not even necessarily just musicians, maybe, I don't know, some other acts or some other shit, I don't know.
No, it's almost like how Universal stunts the acts with Mardi Gras. People show up just to see Kelly Clarkson. That's a big draw.
Yeah, exactly. And to me,
Eat to the Beat.
And this isn't. I don't want this thing as a full thing, but this is the overall arching theme. Is actually, you know what, they say thank you to the people that have been to Disney World the past 50 years, and that's the overarching message, that they're saying thank you to people for giving us 50 years, not 50 years of self-congratulation, aren't we so good, we've been around 50 years. Actually start saying thank you to people for making that place what it is.
I think that lesson has been removed from traditions the last few years. So,
really, I mean, if you're being real, I feel like you're joking, but I would not. That's the point where we are now. I wouldn't think that you would lie to me on that. I think that would be actual truth.
I'm just saying, I get treated more and more like cattle when I'm there than before. So, of course, stop. Cast members are great. Oh my God, here come the tweets now. Chris hates cast members. Why do you hate cast members? Oh, you got the DJ fired. Stop. Fourth thing I would do, I'd hire the DJ back. Leave me alone. All right, who wants to go next?
I'll take it since Ryan took my idea. God damn you. I guess for me, the first thing I would do is, I would make sure all of the parks are firing off at all 4 cylinders. Like it needs to be, it's a celebration. It should be go. And that was one of the things that I really didn't like about the 25th anniversary or any of the other subsequent anniversaries. They're always all about Magic Kingdom. Like it's always centered around Magic Kingdom, and the rest of them are kind of like an afterthought, or you get something ugly like the hat or like the little wand. I really would love to see something where you're celebrating this whole entire resort, past, present, and future. And so maybe bring back, and I wouldn't even say limited time magic, but bring back some characters we haven't seen in forever to like, hey, we got these guys from Wasteland and we're putting them back into the parks and they're home now. They may not have like an actual attraction, or whatnot, but they are home now. You can see these guys again. You can interact with these guys again. You can have them again. Like all 4 parks just have like the rides, everything needs to be top notch. I would lean a little bit on Epcot. I would kind of have to calm down on that one because Epcot's 40th and you want to keep something back. But all of the stuff that was supposed to be done by now most definitely would have been done, maybe even more. So that would be my first pick. My second pick, and this is just for me being somebody who wants more people who look like me and want more people who have lived in Florida their whole entire life and never have been able to go to Disney World because they've been priced out. I would love to go to every Boys and Girls Club in America and take those kids and invite them to Disney World. Like, it's going to be a huge PR stunt, but they will have a full week to be able to come down here and experience something that is out of their grasp. Like I know so many kids in Tampa who's like an hour away who, they get to go to Busch Gardens because that's $99. But I know some people who have, like my stepbrother, he never has been to Disney World. He never had been to Disney World. None of him or my other step siblings have been able to go. So it
even was, like close it down for a day and say no one gets in except for these Boys and Girls Clubs, and it's a takeover, and they get to have the run of the place. That'd be some great video. That'd be awesome.
Because I just want to it's a place where I feel like more and more we talk about inclusion and things about that, and having more kids who want to do this stuff, but a lot of them aren't exposed to it because they can't afford, their parents can afford to take them. So I would love to just pass on that gift of Imagineering, that gift of wonder. And maybe that might instill them to come back. Maybe that you're finally reaching out to the underprivileged and saying you have a place here. And hell, maybe even give those kids a lifetime pass or up until they're 18 or something along those lines. Yeah, I want to give that charity. I want to give that charity
just
back
think of
to
The Office.
Scott's Tots.
I'm just thinking of The Office where he offers to pay for their college. We'll pay for college for 50 locals in the Florida area.
Hey, you can do that too. Shit, they got the money for that. They got the money. It's not the college of your choice, and you are most likely going to be going into hospitality. But hey, you get to.
It's Trump University.
Get to go to college. More like UCF's hospitality program, but let's say that. Let's say that. And then I guess my third thing, shit, what would my third thing be? Oh, no, kind of what Tommy touched on, and this is just me loving the 25th anniversary album, and I look at like what Pokemon's been doing with them, and they're celebrating their entire legacy. by bringing in all of these notable acts to come together and do an album that are remixes from songs from the Pokemon games, where like the beats are remixed and stuff like that. And Disney did that for the 25th anniversary. They got Brian McKnight to do the main theme. And that's the only thing I've seen that they've done to have an R&B singer. And when R&B and Disney comes together, son, it is some of those 90s ending songs to those. So man, it is so good.
So who would you book? I'm going to ask all of you. Who would you book if you were having, like I said, say you were maybe not just Magic Kingdom, but a main stage at all of the 4 parks? What acts would you book on what stage or what park would you put them in?
Lizzo, Lil Nas X, and
Lil Nas X for sure. Oh my God, the outfits.
Yeah, those two, Lizzo and Lil Nas X. Period. Dash.
Yeah, I would get, if I was in America, I would get on a plane just for that. If that was at Disney, I would go just for that. 100%.
For me, I would want to have something for I would have Epcot, but I would want to have some international acts for Epcot, because that's the one thing I don't like about Eat to the Beat, that they're all American acts. So I would probably pull somebody from, I don't know, my favorite J-Rock band, or my favorite Afro beats person to come, and it has to be clean because some of these things get dirty. But yeah, I think for me,
what about those K-pop bands? Those are huge.
Yeah.
No, you may not like. I don't like it, but it sure as hell would draw a crowd.
Yeah. You bring in BTS, hell, people go crazy for Hanson when they come back BTS. Right. BTS, it'd be crazy. And you'd have to have a mop bucket ready, son. It would be. It would be.
What, just for you? For you?
Oh, well. There's some pretty motherfuckers in that band. I'm not going to lie. They all look the same. But, I'm not. We'll talk about that later. But there's just some. I think just right off the top of my head, Bruno Mars for sure. I would love to see Bruno Mars.
Silk Sonic would be amazing.
I would love to see. I don't know what you would do for. What would you do for? Have them in Star Wars and just do a cover called "Leave the Blast Doors Open." I don't know. I would love to see that. There's just all these. I look at the 25th anniversary album and I listen to that constantly, and it's remixes of classic Disney and Walt Disney World songs too. So I would love to get Garth Brooks and whoever. That's the only country guy, and Blake Shelton. That's the only 2 country motherfuckers I know. So I would love to see them do like a big the Country Bear Serenade and have them cover that over. I would love to see a screamo or emo band do, or even a rock band. Hell, I would love to get Metallica to do Grim Grinning Ghosts. Like there's all different types of things that you could really pull from. And this is a celebration. Disney World is a modern marvel of engineering, of themed entertainment. Let's fucking act like it, son. Let's act like it.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, let's face it, whoever you put on there, you could live stream it. You'd have the videos for YouTube, and you've got a blazing advert behind whatever artist it is.
You stream it live on your over-the-top streaming platform known as Disney Plus. Yes. You do a live stream 100%. Like that would draw numbers.
Oh! And for Epcot, the hologram of Michael Jackson. The hologram of Michael Jackson with Captain. Imagine.
Pass.
Imagine having, the Captain EO gang pull out, and you just have like the spaceship come in, and all you hear is whoa, and all of a sudden, man, it gets crazy, boy. Maybe not you, son. I hear I can't dance with a damn. I'm not that type of black. But when I hear Michael Jackson, man, shoot, I bet you Never Land.
Oh God! All right, Ryan, what 3 things would you do to promote Walt Disney World's 50th anniversary?
All right. It's going to sound like a lot of things, but it really boils down to 3 things. Number 1, new projects. Build Zootopia on top of Dinoland. Destroy Dinoland. Nothing left.
This motherfucker.
All Zootopia. Dinosaur, Restaurantosaurus, and Chester and Hester's all gone. And
right, when you come down, I need 5 minutes.
You see my tweet
5 minutes
today?
Outside MCO.
Not even that. I'm not even trying to squeeze it in. I'm giving you plus the Boneyard, plus Dinosaur, plus Restaurantosaurus, all that land. Huge Zootopia. And the theater.
Spiteful motherfucker, Ryan. You just spiteful motherfucker.
there's a good upgrade for Animal Kingdom. Also, obviously,
For someone with Imagineer 6
I would
as
fix the
handle,
goddamn Yeti. Fixing the fucking Yeti is under that number one. It's like a bullet under number one, below Zootopia. And then we go to Epcot, where I scrap the entire project that they greenlit. And I kind of push it off so that it doesn't open for the 40th. So this doesn't count as to something I would do for the 50th. So Epcot is basically a construction zone for the 50th. A new fleet of monorails, because they're falling apart, and ones that look way cooler. So that's a thing.
But that's something that they were probably going to do and then decided not to anyway, weren't it?
Yes.
So this is just, you've kind of listed a lot of the things you've listed as the stuff that they probably were going to do, and then Shay picked them out and said no.
It was supposed to happen years ago,
in addition to the new fleet, it would also finish off that skyline so that it extends all the way to Animal Kingdom, and I would have that open by the 50th. Stopping at Coronado, you don't need to stop for the All Stars. Just go to the Animal Kingdom from there. Wow. And then I would take an idea that was scrapped 50 years ago and make it happen. So I would take something, maybe even something that Walt Disney himself thought of. It could be anything, really. I don't care. It could be one of the Magic Kingdom resorts that got canceled. We could have a new Magic Kingdom resort. I don't know where we'd put it, but maybe the Persian resort or the... there was a Mediterranean one.
There was the Venetian. I think that one was
Venetian, just copy, actually literally steal the Portofino Bay from Universal and put it next to the Magic Kingdom. That would be pretty cool.
Half of these felt like trolling and the other half was solid ideas. So I'm going to give you a...
B-.
All right, that was pretty solid.
I still have more, but...
No, let's see.
You got more? Did we only get to number 2? I thought we was on the...
I have way more than 3 is the realistic answer.
Jesus!
Ryan, who would you book? What act would you book in my musicians, whatever acts at the parks? Who would you book for that?
Since I have no real plans to change Rock and Roller Coaster, I kind of have to make Aerosmith popular again, so I'll bring Aerosmith. They're booked.
Yeah, that's fair. But that's what that's what I was trying to get at, and I couldn't think of any. I know, like, obviously, like Ariana Grande's like attached to the Disney Channel and all that kind of stuff, but I'm just trying to think of acts like strongly associated with the park, or not with the parks, but with the company over the years.
Yeah,
and I couldn't think of any.
You could bring in one of the. You could have one of the.
Well, I mean, you could have Miley Cyrus come back, and I guess you could have her do a Hannah Montana thing for our generation. You could have Donny Osmond come back. You could have, like, the Osmond should definitely show up and do a little show.
There's still one Sherman brother left, right? There's still a Sherman brother going.
Yeah, there's one Sherman brother left. Like, bring him back. There's a few people who are still living.
The low hanging fruit. You've got like Olivia Rodrigo. She's like the hot shit for Disney right now as well, you know.
Yeah, that's for the younger generation too.
I think one common thing, Ryan, have you gotten to your third one yet?
No.
No, I forgot it.
He has like 15 apparently.
It was all part of my plans to, it's being pitched off to Epcot's 40th, but my plans for Epcot would have been to build a hotel in the parking lot, bringing back an idea that I like from Ken's story, building a hotel in the current parking lot, and then building a roof connecting basically Communicore East and West, and then having a rooftop bar up there, and then leaving the lower level and
or they just build a really sexy pavilion that would have been amazing.
No, I hate that. No, because that involves closing Communicore.
Ryan would be summarily fired as CEO because he cannot count to 3. So I think
would bring in every innovation.
I got one other.
I would bring in tons of innovational companies that would bring companies that would bring us into the next century. I would bring in Tesla and SpaceX
just to be outdated 2 years later.
Run the exhibits in Communicore, and then we got something.
So what do we do after the 2 years are up?
Focus on and focus on imagination after that. I think imagination is an oversight. They really need to address.
Ryan, I said 3
pavilion.
I said 3 things, Ryan.
This is like I feel like I'm just scrolling on Twitter now.
I would bring back Body Wars.
This has been a great episode of the E-Ticket Report.
I think the common thing is what we're all getting at, and what Disney has not done, is an homage to the past, to respect the past, and to what Tommy said, to thank guests for the past. And making the past happen, and that's what's missing with this 50th celebration now. Is there's no look back; it's all a look into the future, and it's a very dark look into the future. It seems like Disney just does not respect their past whatsoever. They don't care about it because they can't. They feel like make money off of it.
I mean, I don't know what people are planning to go, but you've potentially got like 3 generations of families that might be planning to show up for the 50th because it marks like. You know, when they were the age of the grandchildren, they were going as a family when it opened. And then, you know, there's two more generations after that. You've got people like that. Surely they can go out there and find them. It can't be that difficult.
Another thing I don't get is why they just didn't bring back. You remember, like a few years back, we had limited time magic where they just brought in, old characters to just walk around. The least you guys could have did was that. Hell, they didn't even have to be face characters.
We were complaining about limited time magic to no end, and now we wish we had limited time magic.
Wait, what was so bad about it? It was just like, we're going to bring out some old school characters.
It was literally them being like, we're only doing special things for a little bit. Like we're only doing a little extra for the minimal amount.
Was that an anniversary year? I thought it was just like completely random.
No, that was one of their. That was their annual campaign.
It was their excuse for not fucking opening anything for so long.
Yeah, back when Disney would do 12 to 16 month campaigns. That's what that was. Was. So
it's been like
if you if you follow us on Twitter or the Facebook group E-Ticket Report, send in what 3 things you would do as CEO to help promote the 50th. And I love what you said, Jalen. You want it to be a celebration. I feel like when I walk in there, I want it to be like, holy shit, this is a party. Something is happening, and I gotta go because I don't want to miss it. What, Ari? You need a diaper?
Mad too.
Okay, Can you go see Dad? Did you get in the bathtub? Okay, there's a naked child running around. Jesus. Okay, so anything else for this week's show?
No, I think that's it.
3, please.
Consider Zootopia.
Ryan,
there's a lot of money.
Never get back down here.
There's a lot of money to be made off those furries.
If you want to send us your ideas, you can do it at E-Ticket Report. There's a Facebook group also. Tommy, where can we find you online?
At Tommy Hawkins on Twitter.
Jalen, where can we find you online?
TC Jalen on Twitter and Tom Mario's Child on Instagram.
Ryan, where can we find you online?
If you build Zootopia, the furries won't be mad. They won't be mad about Splash Mountain closing anymore.
Jesus Christ.
You just distract the furries with Zootopia, and then the closing Splash Mountain is no longer a problem.
He reminds me of Tim Grassi, because he goes on for too goddamn long, and it's mad fucking boring. Like, you are basically,
like a dog with a chew that won't let it go. Doesn't matter how hard you try and pull it out of their mouth.
But you guys always
Tim
pop for
Grassi's
it.
Robin.
You guys are selling on it. If you didn't sell it, he wouldn't do it. You keep selling it.
I'm on Twitter.
Ryan, where can we find you online?
At Imagineer6. But I want to promote this little thing called Discord that the kids are starting to use. We're going to launch a Discord channel eventually for the E-Ticket Report. And I just want the intelligent people to go from Twitter to Discord, basically, because Twitter's getting insufferable.
Are you going to promise not to talk about Zootopia more than once a week then, if they do?
You know what? This is a safe place. This is a safe place. Ryan, come out as a furry. You know, we all know. Are you a scaly? Are you a scaly? You know what's your thing? Like what I can see you as being one of those dudes who dress in a giant hamster suit. You know, you seem like a hamster guy.
This is the point in the show where I pot up the music and I say, "It's all we have for this week. We'll see you all next time."
We've got to go.